Josh Diggs.
Zachariah Brown.
Josh Diggs, Director of Claims for
New Rain Cat.
New Rain Cat. All right. 2025, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I know your vision board has a lot of stuff on it, but I think, could be wrong here, but I think we need to narrow our focus. I know you probably have 10 things on there. 5 are really important. 5 are wants, a couple are needs. So let's talk about the number 1. You had to sacrifice everything on your vision board with the one that you would keep on.
So it's kind of in line with narrowing down the focus, is to get more focused. I feel like that's a challenge that I need to work on, is to kind of really drill down on what's important. So that goal is to look at all the things on my plate and figure out what I need to zero in on. So it's really kind of figuring out what I don't necessarily need to be working on and really kind of focus on those things.
Okay. So I had this conversation with Landon, and I asked him what his goal was, and he said that I want to be better at golf. That is a bad goal. As far as like, great that he wants to be better at golf, but it's a bad thing to set as a goal because it's not measurable. So much like yours, hey, I want to focus. So at the end of the year, and you reflect, it's going to be subjective of, were you more focused or were you not? Is there something that you can measure that if you accomplish, that means that you were more focused?
Yeah, no, I think adding some people to our claims team is going to allow me to work on some higher level items and work less on the business and in the business.
More on the business.
Moron, just call me a moron. Yeah. So that's one of the things that I would do that's measurable.
Okay, how do you measure some? You said you need to add some people.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's going to dictate on the business needs, but ideally, we're adding 5 people. That means that we are doing well. That means that we're growing. That means that we're
goal 5 people added to the existing team.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
There you go. Now that's a good goal.
Yep.
Because it's measurable, and at the end of the year, numbers don't lie. Either you accomplished your goal or you didn't. So, what are some actionable items, actionable steps that you can take to make that happen? And this is more for you, not for me or the audience, but help you out. All right, well, what's the first step of doing that? More aggressively recruiting. We need to post a couple of job openings. I need to write job description, whatever. What are some real actionable things you can do to do so?
I think a lot of it is just sitting down and making the time for it. I think that's the biggest, the biggest challenge, is that actually doing it, holding myself to it, being accountable, and making that listing. I feel like I've done a good job of building a network of some very, very capable and talented people. And so now it's just a matter of kind of fine tuning and picking a person that's going to be the right fit for it, and holding ourselves to a timeline to get it done, and then build on that, land some additional contracts. I mean, that's going to also help with those goals as well, so that we're bringing in the opportunities, and that we've got the team ready to rock and roll.
So I think I told you what my slogan for the year is. Last year was buffer for me to save, and because we were a little unsure of the way the election was going to go, or it's how the world was going to react to 2024, the year of chaos. So it was buffer. And this year it's LFG, like let's effing go. No more talking about it, no more meeting about it, no more discussing it, no more prepping, no more planning. 2025 is a year of action for me. Is there a slogan or a mindset? And you can change it if you find a better word for it or whatever, but is there generally speaking, a mindset that you want for 2025 that will help you focus more on the areas that will help you accomplish your goals?
Yeah, you know what? When you shared that with me, the LFG, I was like, yeah, let's. No, and I'm not going to copy that, obviously, but
it's cool. You can copy it.
But I think it's no fucking excuses, right? So NFE and NFE. There you go. So yeah, I think it's just we talked about certain things, and just like, you need to execute already. So throw out the hey, let's get this done, and let's talk about this later. It's like, let's effing go. No effing excuses. Like, let's do it. So I love that you taking charge of this podcast. You decided, we talked about it, you did it, and your timeline to get things done after you set your mind to it is probably the shortest of anybody I know. Once you set your mind to something, and I think that's rubbed off on me. I think that's always a good reminder is that, hey, Zach's doing it. I've committed to something. I spoke it into existence. I got to make it happen, or I need to speak it into existence and actually go and get it done. So I think that's what I would say is no effing excuses. Let's get it done. Figure out what those things are going to be, and let's go execute. And let's go and figure out the game plan, and let's just get it done.
Yeah. So again, I had this conversation with Landon, and I told him that I changed my alarm on my phone that says, "Zach, get your ass out of bed. Let's effing go." And so every morning, that's how my day is started.
Who says it? Is it? Oh, it's you recording.
Yeah, Zach, get your ass out of bed. Let's effing go. And so every morning, that's how I start my day. First words I hear are LFG, LFG, LFG. And that's a constant reminder. And what it will do is it will help me not be a January gym, right? To where I go to the gym in January, but in March, if you ask me what my New Year's resolution was, or most of the people, even some people here, right? I mean, if you ask them in March or April or May, what was your New Year's resolution? They'll say, I don't remember. And it's because they write it down one time, they don't look at it again, right? So you need that daily reminder, or at least put yourself in a mindset that will help you accomplish that goal. Even if you forget what your goal was, that constant reminder of what your mindset needs to be going into every day, will help you accomplish, at least go down the path of accomplishing that goal.
Well, it's part of the reason why I like those vision boards too, right? Is it a corny kind of exercise, flipping all these things, but you do that and then you put it somewhere where you're seeing it all the time. And when you do it with a lot of other people and you've got all these other people, you're talking about your goals, it's a way to just reinforce what you're doing. So if we just sit down, think about what the hell do I really want to accomplish for the year? Let me get my thoughts and ideas and visuals to go along with that. And then when you're doing it with other people, there's that accountability factor too. So if you're saying it, now you got to hold yourself accountable, because the next time I see you, I see Carlos, I see somebody else, they're going to ask me, how are you working on that game plan? How are you working on the next business idea, the 15 pounds you wanted to drop, the podcast that you wanted to start? Like, I like the idea of having that and saying it out loud and saying it around other people. So that's an external, additional, just.
What we should do is maybe have another one of these July 1st, 6 months. So have another one. But while people are here in January, write down all right, so what's the one that you want to be you want other people to hold you to account, right? And then you save the piece of paper, whatever, just tack it onto a board inside. And then in July, we invite everybody back. And that's the first thing you do once everybody shows up, go down the list. And hey, some people are going to be like, yeah, didn't do that. Or somebody, yeah, dude, I already crushed that. I changed that to double what I said, right? So just some sort of accountability. And I think that people want that as much as, there's potential of being embarrassed.
Driven people like that.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And that's why we have this on a Sunday. That's why you have it during football. That's why you have it early in the morning. Who's going to wake up early on a Sunday during football season, meaningful football season? It's the end of the year, playoff implications. And who's going to miss all of that stuff to show up for a vision board? Like every person here today was extremely qualified in the sense of drive.
Absolutely. I think there's no better way to flush out who wants it and who doesn't. Like you want to get things rocking and rolling in 2025, to be huddling up when there's family time. There's all these other things going on.
There's the blindside flu that happens to people the morning of an event.
Yeah, but you're willing to come out, and some people drove very far to get here, right? And spend time with others and talk about this stuff. Like that stuff matters.
Last year we had flying in from across the country.
We got to up our game this year, apparently. Play. But I think ultimately that's my takeaway, is that you've got, and those are the people I want to be around. Those people I want to surround myself with, is the people that are willing to carve out time on a Sunday when there's all these other things going on, football, life, families, kids, everything. And I'm going to stop what I'm doing because this is really important to me. I'm planning out my year. I want to hold myself accountable. I want other people to hold me accountable. And I want to be able to visualize and speak into existence all the things that I want to accomplish for the year. That's the crowd that I want to be around.
Yeah, I think that's my only constructive, I don't want to say criticism, but constructive criticism of this event is that, it is what it is. I hate that saying, but it is what it is that we gave the first one for free, right? And what falls on everybody that attended today, their responsibility is to stay accountable to that, however you need to do it. Whether it's changing your alarm to a recording of yourself or sitting down with the family and everybody pull out their vision boards once a month or once a quarter or whatever, right? There needs to be some reoccurring accountability moments for people to do it. Now, we did the first one, hard part, create the vision board, get it out there, put it out there in the universe.
Yep.
But what nobody tells you is you can't just put something out into the universe once and expect it to happen, right? I mean, it has to be persistent and deliberate and consistent. And that changes your behavior, and behavior produces results, right? So we do the first one, kind of get everybody kickstarted, hoping that they stick with all of their stuff. We're not going to babysit them, but I think if we just do one more.
Yeah, I like that. It's almost like part two. Part one is getting all your thoughts, all your ideas out. But the part two, and this maybe even the more important part, is the how. How are you planning on accomplishing these things? How are you going to lose 25 pounds? How are you going to read 12 books? How are you going to join that golf club? How are you going to start that business? How are you going to gain more clients? Like, what's the game plan there? Because it's nice to see it, but now you've got to go and act on that, and you've got to follow through. You got to be persistent, consistent, all of those things.
Yeah, and I think next year when we do it, either I can do this or we can bring somebody in. We need to, or you know what, we could produce just like a little one pager and print it out for people. And it's, a guide to setting goals, making sure that you're setting measurable goals. And then, what actionable items could you do? And those are the kind of stuff that you look to put on your vision board. If it's, well, I want 7 new clients, perfect. Flip through these magazines, see if you can find a number 7, and that's what you need to put on there. Because that's the number you want to hit, and it's measurable. Like, that's a good goal to set.
I agree.
So maybe we should provide a little guidance to people next year too. So anyway, dude, great event as always. This is number 4.
5th.
Thanks.
Is it 4? Feels like 5.
Well, happy New Year, dude. I'm rooting for you always if I can help in any way reaching your goals.
Vice versa, man. Let's fucking go.
I'm keeping that last one, that last clip.